Hey everybody, this is Brad Penovich down here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're heading into the weekend before the holidays start, and the weekend looking good, at least the Friday and early Saturday. We've got some really cold air in place and kind of setting the stage for some super good conditions, at least to start the weekend. Let me explain what's going on. Tonight I'm looking at the live pictures from Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain, Appalachian Ski Mountain, Cataloochee, Snowshoe, Winter Place. Everybody is either making snow or they're getting a little bit of natural snow. But there are snow guns cranking right now because of the very, very cold temperatures going on in the southeast. Those freezing temperatures, ideal snowmaking conditions, are going to stick around through most of Friday. In fact, Friday looks like it's going to stay below freezing all day long. So keep those snow guns going, resorts, because it is going to warm up going into the weekend. So if we can lay a good base, I think we're going to be okay, but we're going to watch for a little bit of ice early Saturday as warm air starts surging in from the south. We'll see a mix of ice early in the day, but then you notice temperatures actually go above freezing Saturday, and they're likely going to stay there most of Saturday and Sunday before that next cold front moves in from the northwest. Now, I don't expect any snow this weekend, but on the backside of this cold front, especially Sunday into Monday as the cold air comes back, you can see we're actually going to see a pretty good batch here. It looks like of showers and snow showers developing on the backside of the front. This is something to keep an eye on for early on Monday. As it moves into the mountains. As far as the cold air, you can see the warm up this weekend, but there's another Arctic front, so it's not all bad news. A huge warm up this weekend right there, but another big surge of Arctic air is going to make a run at the southeast. So while we're going to see a 2-day warm up with melting going on Saturday into Sunday, by Monday that cold air moves back in. It sticks around for most of the week. This is Thursday, so we've got cold enough conditions, which will be key because we need to make snow next week as much as possible because there are signs, and once we get past Christmas, that things could start to warm up. You notice it stays pretty cold until about Christmas night. Then we see another big storm moving across the country. There's your storm system pulling up some warm air. It looks like a brief wedge tries to set up here, but usually this is bad news for snowmaking and natural snow. The cold air is diving into the west, and this is a sign we're going to see as the pattern flips a little bit. And what I mean flips is we're going to see a dip out west in the jet stream and a ridge in the east, and that usually means warm conditions. So while we're going to have a brief warm up this weekend, don't sweat it too much because next week it'll be cold enough. The real concern is going to be that week after Christmas into the new year. Can we get enough snow on the slopes to make it skiable right through the new year? Now, we look long range at the snowfall potential, obviously a little bit on Monday, but watch what happens next week as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. That secondary system comes down and probably dumps a good bit of snow, especially in West Virginia and even down into North Carolina. This is going into Christmas Day when things start to warm up. So going into the Christmas holiday and really next week looks fine. The problem I have is what we're going to see after Christmas. Let's look ahead to the Wednesday after Christmas. This is the 28th. And if you notice something right off the bat, these are anomalies. The temperatures above average here in the eastern half of the country. It looks like the cold air is going to be out west, and we're going to have a little warm up. Now, this isn't the blowtorch that we saw last year when it was in the 70s, but temperatures will be a little bit above average. And so this isn't great for snowmaking by day or certainly good for natural snow. I still think there'll be a couple nights where it might be cold enough that we'll be able to make snow here in the southeast, but it's certainly going to be a warmer pattern than what we have right now. So the good news, great snow being laid down tonight, all of Friday, and for the start of Saturday. Taking a break from the snow Saturday and Sunday, but then next week the cold air returns Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday, laying a good groundwork for a really good Christmas weekend. Then we're going to see a warm-up. We've been waiting for this. We've had such a good start to the season. You knew it was coming. It's coming at a bad time, unfortunately. It looks like it'll be that week between Christmas and New Year's. But here's the thing. With so much cold air early in the month and cold air coming again next week, hey, as long as the snowmakers and the groomers can lay down a good base, I think we should be okay. We can weather these warm-ups. That's skiing in the southeast. We're used to it. So let's keep our fingers crossed. We get a little natural snow next week and the temperatures turn cold going into New Year. Of course, a lot can change. We're looking 2 weeks out into the future. Let's focus on this weekend first. Great conditions for Friday. Shouldn't be bad Saturday. Big warm up with rain, though, for Sunday. Hope you have a great ski weekend. As always, you can follow me online at wxbrad right there. You can follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want for the latest. And as always, all the skiers in the Southeast, think snow and have a great weekend.